If you've taken the time to prepare and tailor a presentation to a particular audience, aiming to achieve a very specific purpose, you don't want to then go and forget half of what you're trying to say when your nerves kick in, or have to start ad-libbing stuff because you realise you're running over time. So to avoid this and to stay really focused, I'd suggest that you make yourself some notes that you can speak from. Some people think that having made a set of PowerPoint illustrative slides, they can use that to remind them what they're going to say, but I would think often that doesn't work very well. Instead, I would suggest that you make some physical notes, just like these. Now, the notes that I would suggest, they've got some common themes to how you make them. Firstly, they've got 3 columns. The first column is all about timing, so that you can put in there, you know, what time you intend to hit these different things. And if you then always have your watch nearby or a clock, you can keep an eye on, am I sticking approximately to time? The second column is then any kind of illustrations. Are there PowerPoint slides that you want to click into at particular times, or do you want to do particular activities as you go through your presentation? And then the third column is your notes. It's not going to be every word. Don't try and write every single word down. Just write some bullet points, something that will help to jog your memory and remind you what you were going to say at that point and then at that point, so that you stick to the order of things that you've decided is best. Make sure that your notes are legible. You don't want to be having your notes that are written in such a small font that you're having to read up close. You know, make sure that your notes are also printed with a big font so that you can easily see them just with a glance down and not have to be too distracted by them. I've already highlighted the timing, the slide, whatever illustrative things are in there, and the notes themselves. Okay, next one. Is there any equipment that you need? You know, like earlier in this presentation, I was waving my pen, so I would be listing that up there as being, this is something that I have to remember to take with me if I'm doing this presentation. Do you print this out on A4 or on A5? You know, do you have this as a full-sized notes like this, or can you print it half the size so that it's only this big? Depends maybe on your eyesight and the situation, because you'll also find sometimes if you're presenting maybe in a dark room and it's being projected up onto a screen, actually it can be really difficult to read your notes sometimes in the dark. So maybe you do then want it on A4 with really big text so that you can actually read your notes. And I would also recommend that you number your pages, that you staple them together so that if you do drop them, you don't have pages scattered everywhere and you don't know which one comes first and which one goes last. Number them and staple them together, fix them, you know, put holes through them and tie a bit of string through them if you have to, but make sure they cannot be separated and make sure that the pages are all numbered. And then practice, practice, practice again. Every time that you go through this out loud, not just in your head, but each time you actually say it out loud, you will naturally modify a little bit what you're saying. And every time you do it, you'll update it slightly, and then each time it will get slightly better. If you make some notes, because you realize, I don't use that word. When I actually speak out loud, I use this word. That will also help you to get it more right and to improve your presentation. By doing it out loud, it also means you get a chance to check your timings. Does it really take the times that you think it's going to take? Are you going to overrun? Do you need to cut something out? Do you really need all of this material in order to get the point across? And I promise you, if you practice this a few times out loud, your presentation will definitely be better, without a doubt. If you practice it out loud with the illustrations, maybe 3 times, it will be 10 times better performance and a better presentation, and therefore it will communicate better to your audience, and they are more likely to take the action that you're hoping for. So please put in the effort, do the practicing, even if it's just practicing with yourself, maybe with a mirror, or practice with a friend. Get somebody to give you some critical feedback, but practice makes a huge difference to your presentation.